Negan combo staple. Hold on, that's mine. So, the reason why this one is a bit tricky is because you are going to have to get the timing of the middle part, which is this. That takes time because you need the two, so you need to do down forward 4 into 2 and then 1 plus 2. The trick to getting this consistently every time, and I'll explain as we go, is to buffer the 2. So when I hit down forward 4 and I press triangle, I'm still holding triangle right now, and then you shift over to square. You shift over to 1. So that's how you buffer it, because this attack is 1 plus 2. And you see at the bottom of the screen how it shows I'm holding triangle, and then I press square, and then it shows square and triangle are pressed at the same time, but now it shows triangle pressed again. But Negan didn't do anything. That's a buffer. I'm buffering it in. You get it now? You get it? You get it? You get it now? So, what we're gonna do next is my combo with Negan, which these combos I'll say are intermediate, but they do take some skill to handle. And mine is intermediate as well, and it takes a bit of skill to handle. So it starts off kind of the same as the YouTube one that you guys see, and some of you guys who watch me may see me do this one quite a bit actually. So let's just jump into this one. And that's why I do this one, is because it's 1 point more damage than the YouTube one that you guys might see. So the trick to this one is that you are combining up fort 4 with fort 3 2 times. Well, you're doing 2 up forward 4s, and you're doing, I believe, 1 up forward 3, and then you are doing back 1 2, you know, and then you're doing the forward 3 2 at the end. The reason why I do this one is because not only is it more damage, it's more pushback as well, but the difference with this pushback is I believe you have a little bit more. You do, but they buff this move. So if you do hit wall with this combo, you are guaranteed that. So yeah, you are still guaranteed the forward 1 plus 2 afterwards if you reach the wall with this. But again, just like the other combo, if you pay attention, that's a new word, I guess. If you pay attention, sorry, I'm a bit sick still. If you pay attention to the character's placements, again, Heihachi is more over towards Negan's left side. So that's why you're not guaranteed the wall every time with this one, but it gives you major wall pushback. You know. So that is one that you have to keep in mind. Now that we are still on intermediate, we now have to slow it down and take it back to the beginner side of things before we get into the hard side of things. On counter hit launches, which Negan has 1, before we get into the hard aspect of his combos, which will be the combo enders. And for combo enders, we'll even go from beginner to intermediate, and again, we'll save all the hard stuff for last. So, okay, with Negan, he has, as you know, a very, very great move. So, that is back 1+2. You will sometimes get that if you do it too fast. So, what you want to do when you get this for beginners, and this truly is a beginner counter hit launcher, is you want to do back 1+2 into back 1-2 and to down forward 4 to 1-2. The reason why is because this will spike on a wall, and again, for you guys that are just starting out with Negan, what you want to do is forward 1+2 on the wall. So we'll do it again just so you see it. And again, we're on an infinite stage, but at the same time though, if you're on a walled stage, which some of you guys might be, that follow-up will be guaranteed majority of the time on the wall. Another beginner friendly one hold on is that one, which I should have actually started with that one because that one's a lot more simple to do if you're new to Tekken. Is back 1+2 down forward 1-1-2. You kind of gotta spam forward, especially if you're on PS4, and then forward 3-4. The reason why you want to do that one is because, like, again, you have a lot of space. You know, you have a decent amount of space. But as you can tell too, with their Okuzemi, they will, like, this pushback isn't as severe as the other ones, because again, this one is, again, I should have started with this one before showing you the other one. This one, the pushback isn't as severe, so even if you get a wall, well, you will really need a wall for this one, especially, so that if you do have a handle on the follow-up with 1+2, if they don't have a wall, they are granted a free stand guard. So you will have to literally lay off on them and give them some space. So you'll literally have to, like, just back up and give them some space. So that's the thing with that one. Now we get into you know, the one that you guys see all the time, and that's the thing with this one is not, like, the forward 3-2 is not guaranteed. You have to micro dash it and kind of run with it too. So I'll try and get it this time. I'll get a little bit closer just so it has more of a chance to connect. Nope. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, the thing with that one is that you have to be very close for it to connect, and then as well, you are granted the free follow-up of 1+2 if you have the wall hit on it, especially with the buff range of 1+2. This one I would say do if you really have the game plan with Negan down pat. Now, other follow-ups you can, oh well, like I said, we'll get into that later, but other follow-ups you can do off of the tail whip on it will give you good pressure and will get in your opponent's head really bad, especially knowing all the follow-up options, and even discovering some new ones on your own, because this is Tekken, so I don't know everything there is to know about this character. Will really get in your opponent's head, and that's half of the fun of Tekken, is that you get used to seeing everyone doing, you know, oh, this YouTube combo, this new staple, this, that, and the third, and then like someone comes with something new, you don't really know how to react to it, because you're just kind of like, wow, like this combo is pretty freaking intense. And that's just how some combos are. Excuse me. Now we'll get into my combo. I messed that up. Nah, I kind of jumped ahead of myself there. And so, again, the reason why I do the combo that I do, 1 point more damage than the regular YouTube staple combo. And then, as well, you get free follow-up of 441 plus 2. So, knowing that the up forward 4, forward 3, up forward 4, back 1, 2, into forward 3, 4 will push all the way to the wall. It will every time, just about, depending on how large the stage is. And wall splat will give you the free forward 1 plus 2, especially with the buff range of it, every single time, without fail, every single time. And you really want to try and learn this one, simply because that extra point of damage will make a difference in a match. It will make a difference. You can go back to some of the previous streams and see for yourself where it's like, I have clutched matches back by that 1 extra point of damage on counter hit or regular hit, simply because of the fact that everyone else is expecting, you know, this whole thing right here, which has its own problems. For instance, like, if you wait too long, that can miss. And I can even show you. Yeah, if you wait too long, that can miss. The difference with this is you will, I can show you the difference. That's me not mashing for it, even though this string somewhat does have a chance of dropping. The chance of this dropping compared to the chance of this dropping is vastly huge. It is vastly huge. It is impeccably huge. Like, you will have, especially if you're new, you will have this drop more times on you. Like, it just dropped there, and I did it like at the regular speed you're supposed to. That, which also proves my point. You'll have that drop more times on you, especially if you're new, than having this drop on you. Simply because this will almost more than likely catch from any angle. But another counter hit launcher that not a lot of people know about with Negan is what I like to call the Negan still pedal. And if you play Mishimas, you should already know this input. So this move, oh, let me tell you about this move. This move works exactly like you'd imagine. It has pretty great range. It almost covers mid-screen. it's super effective when placed right. And yeah, it can reach from there. So here is the beginner combo that you kind of want to do, especially if you're starting out. And this is pretty crazy that you can get this off of this move. I hope you still can in season 3. I haven't tried it yet, but it's pretty crazy that you can actually do this, and you can get massive wall carry if you remember to do this. I even forget to do this sometimes when I get it for wall carry, because sometimes I'll just stick to a regular combo and then I'm just inches away from getting them to the wall, or inches away from, you know, having them at a breakable balcony or a breakable wall. So you want to remember to try and do this strategy that I'm going to show you. And here it is. Uh-oh, I think they removed it. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Well, hold on. We need to do one thing though. I have the ground text set to random simply to test if things are true or not. So they did remove it because before it would work without it being on random. But now, since there is at least, let's just do one variable. Yeah, there's one variable now, which is if they text. You can literally do that if your opponent is a person who just lays down when you are fighting. And like literally, like it just took for me to test that to see. Like, okay, yeah, if they tech, then you only get one follow-up. So this is literally for beginners only. Guys who are not beginners, if you feel as though you're intermediate, then only do this against people that do not tech. But if you are a beginner, it is in your best interest to try and go for this every single time, because you get massive amounts of wall carry. I would say just starting out, stick to 3 hits. So you will go that, and try and get the 4-3-4. Sometimes it will be janky like that, but this is a good strategy simply because it's like you will get extra wall carry. You will get extra wall carry from that. And if you're feeling ballsy, you know, just go for the 5. You have to kind of spam it though too, or it's gonna not. Yeah, if you're feeling ballsy, go for the 5. Definitely go for the 5. And you have to keep count, but you're gonna have to spam it like you see at the bottom. You're gonna just hold back, because I'm literally just holding it. I'm holding back, and then I'm just spamming square, and I'm keeping count mentally, like, and we can do it out loud too. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, too soon. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as soon as you get to 5, you gotta let 2 rip. So it's like if you're playing on pad, you'll go back square and then just shift over to triangle in one motion without lifting your finger at all. You'll just literally be swiping from square to triangle like it's a swiping, one of those swiping moves is what I call the parentheses moves, swiping inputs. You'll be doing it basically in that motion. And then, you know, if you're playing stick, obviously, you know, that's a lot easier because you can literally style on your opponent anime style, like with like your pinky finger across like square and triangle. So, you know, there's that. So let's set our technique back to random, and then to show you guys. So yeah, for you guys who feel as though you're intermediate, this is why at most you should go for is 2, and that's honestly it. And that's simply because it's like if they go to do like a tech 3 or a tech 4, because you're spamming this, and because this is relatively got an okay startup and kind of safe, you will just pick them back up, kind of like I did there, because the tech is set to random. So it's like whatever the CPU decided to do at that moment. Granted me the 2, but literally just stick to the 1. And you want to go for this combo if you're intermediate. So if your back 4 successfully lands, you want to go into back 1 2, down forward 4 2, 1 2. And if you do happen to want a bit of more pushback, I do believe the 1 plus 2 is more pushback. And it's likely to break a wall, I believe, or a balcony, depending on how close you are. Because no, it doesn't have more pushback, and it's weaker too. That's why I just don't really use that move like that, unless I'm near a wall and I get that. I'll do it if I'm near a wall and I get it. Other than that, I don't really like. That's the only use that down forward 1 2 has. Is it's a great 50-50 starter, but it's not the best on block. You know, we're not there yet. We still have a few more ways of going into the Negan still pedal and combos you can do off of the Negan still pedal. So you know, that's the thing though. But just remember, you do that, into that, into that, into that. And then, you know, you do that. Try and go for 2. And if that happens, you know, just do that. Just always do 4 3 4. Simply because some people will block the first one, and some people, because some people like myself, when you're really getting a read on your opponent, you will just throw out a 4-4-3, and then you'll watch your opponent like try and do something while they're like recovered, and like you can like literally just magic through them because they're already recovered, and they're just now recovering. See what I'm saying? And so it's like, it's all a mental game at the end of the day, because of a lot of the options that you have. So yeah, the last way to go into the Negan still pedal. That's right. Took me a minute to remember because I'm like, I think you can. You have to forward 3 off of it. So again, for beginners, here's your combo. That one, and then so we'll do the beginner one again and explain why you want to do that one. The reason why you want to do this one is because it isn't as complicated, and you have pushback, and you get access to the 4-4-1 plus 2. Yeah, and because of the massive pushback, if you're on a wall stage, which, you know, most of you beginner guys will most likely prefer wall stages at first, the massive pushback, unlike the combo on this one, which will give them a free stand guard because it's low pushback on the tail whip, you get your 4-4-1 plus 2. Which would make you feel a bit more accomplished and a lot less new to Tekken and a lot more ready to take on harder opponents. Simply because of the fact that you will be throwing your opponent off by doing the Negan still pedal, going into this, and already come in with like more than half of their health bar. You see what I'm saying? So now, intermediate variation, I should say, of it That's right, that doesn't work. You actually have to keep that going. Using my mind right now. You have to keep that going. I do not remember the amount of hits, so we're just gonna do it live on the recording. Oh. So yeah. I believe that was 3 fort 3s, and on the third fort 3 you just want to end it with 2. And it's major pushback as well. And you don't get much guaranteed afterwards. But it is major wall pushback, and because it's severe pushback, no free stand guard. Granted, they have to manually block. And yeah, if you want to though, I do believe yeah, if you want to, you can go for another Negan still pedal. Simply because of the fact of the matter is that your opponent will be like expecting you to like go in with the badass or like hit them with that, you know. Your opponent will be expecting you to do like the low attacks, but you gotta show them that you're no noob and get them with another Negan still pedal and take them for a different combo, essentially. So yeah, that is a thing. The next counter hit combo, and of course we will be starting again from beginner all the way to intermediate, will be the sidestep 2 combo. And interesting enough, since we have Heihachi, you should know that Mishimas have a certain move that comes from their right hand. And because we're on the left side, that means we have to sidestep upwards into the foreground. So, this is what you want to try and get down. Like, sidewalking's cool and all, but you want to try and get down just a single sidestep. Just practice that. Like if you have moving front to back down, you want to master just a single sidestep. Just a single sidestep. Like if you have this much mastered down, this is basic movement. This is like no special dashing, no Korean back dashing, no dash canceling, none of that. This is just basic movement. Like if you have this down, if you've upgraded from this to this, the next thing you should be working on is this. Just tapping it, just tapping it, just tapping it, just tapping it, just tapping it. The reason why you want to just tap it, and the reason why, like, if you're watching tournaments, you might see them do that instead of this, is simply because the amount of frames or speed for you guys that are still kind of new, the amount of frames and the speed of doing this versus having your character actually walk around is night and day. For instance, like doing this is not guaranteed to dodge all the time, but if you're committed to 2 sidesteps already, by the time they do an attack, you already are out of the way. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, you can see like the sidewalk kind of already coming out, but it's like, if you're typing it fast enough, it's like, even if you get the sidewalk starting to come out, he's side dashing now with the sidewalk. Like, you see that? It's a side dash now. It's not even a side step anymore. It's completely night and day. It's vastly different. Vastly different. So once you have the basic dashing down, once you have this basic part down, once you have the basic dashing down, and then you've leveled up to the, you know, special back dashing, like, which I myself am trying to learn that because I only know how to Korean backdash. Because I'm old school like that. once you have this basic back down, just back by itself. Like once you have that down, like just master down, or up, and you have to just not hold it. You have to just not hold it down. But here is the basic combo. So if you know your opponent's weak side, or where majority of their best attacks come from, because some characters are lefties, and you will have to sidestep here every now and then and catch them with one. I always recommend that if you're going to do anything sidestep wise, always attack, whether or not it's a sidestep attack or not. It's like, if I'm gonna sidestep, I'm gonna throw out a button. I know this move is very sluggish, but it has pretty okay startup. But it's like, to mess with my opponent and I sidestep, and they may think I'm gonna, you know, do like my high sidestep attack, I might just sidestep, launch him, like, you know, like, so always commit to something if you're going to sidestep, because like sometimes you will just outright dodge the move, and you'd never want to give away free damage. So for sidestep 2, let's get a little closer. I don't think that is guaranteed anymore. Uh-oh. Okay, so I have to give you beginners something different and easy. So here it is. There you go. But the problem is, that is not severe pushback, so they will get a free stand guard off of it. So all you'll do is sidestep 2. Into back 1, 2, into forward 4, 3, 4. Now, what you can do if you're a beginner is run up and do that, because like you want to allow them to keep their space. So you'll do that, you'll sidestep again, but don't do anything this sidestep because you're not close, so you don't have to commit to an attack at this range. Do your sidestep again because they may roll over, and the reason why you want to do your sidestep again is simply to realign your character with them, so you're not completely off axis. And so what you're gonna do after that, after they stand up, is run to about this range right here, and then you're going to down 2. The reason why you're going to do that is because they're going to think you're going to try and like run in and grab them or something like that. But you know, at this point you might be still trying to break that habit because people are now breaking your grabs. So instead, you'll do the down 2 because that gives you an unbreakable grab attack. Like, so it gives you just as much damage as a grab, but they don't have the possibility of breaking this now, and the range of it is very impeccable because of the fact that their jab will miss from this range, and if you time it properly, you'll catch them before their jab even catches you. You can even mix it up with the back 2-2. This is all for beginners, but you can still use these strategies for intermediate. And the reason why is because, one second. Nothing important. And the reason why is because all this is all Tekken kind of is more of a mental game, more than it is, I would say, like a block and try to, you know, like punish or capitalize, which it is all those things, but at the end of the day, Tekken is more mental than anything else. So now for the intermediate combo. Want to go into that? Oh, if you do it too fast, you will get that. But we want to go side step 2. Ugh. The tech is set to random, so that is not guaranteed all the time. You have to be very fast on it. So try for it again. And there it is. The reason why you do that is to further the wall carry. And because of the fact that this is not guaranteed from that angle every time. It's not guaranteed from that angle, because if they are too close to the ground, it has a possibility of even the 4-4-3 missing if they're just too close to the ground. The 2 will spike at the end, but the 3 may miss. And if the 3 misses from them being too close, and they know which direction to tech away from Negan, which would be to Negan's right, obviously, then the 2 becomes irrelevant and loses everything. Now you're probably wondering, like, can I do the power crush on that? You can, but again, it isn't guaranteed all the time. And then I believe, like, the damage off of it's very hard to even do 4-4-1 plus 2 on it, but we'll try it. And the damage on it is pretty lackluster in itself. But it is more so fitting for the sidestep attack in and of itself than anything else. But, you know, again, like, different strokes for different folks. But I recommend, personally doing the 1-2 variation of the intimidation stance on that combo for the further pushback. Simply because if you're by a wall, that's gonna break a wall. There's no getting around it. And if it doesn't, that's gonna break a wall. There's no getting around it. Like, true, the 4-4-1 plus 2 is less damage, but at the same time though, like, the wall pressure that you are going to receive from that, and then, like, even the amount of pushback that you have on this guaranteed to a 4-4-2 by itself is just it's insane. It's insane. So I think that being said, oh no, there is one more. There is one more variation of this, and you all probably know it. Ugh. This is that one. Now the 4-4-1 plus 2 is not guaranteed off of that, and even doing the forward 3-2 is not guaranteed off of that. Well, the 3 portion of it is not guaranteed, and if they know where to tech, the 2 is not guaranteed off of that. So it's a lot of variations involved. But there is a solution. Is forward 4. That has a possibility of hitting. More likely. And you see what I'm saying? Is like the 3 landed, but now they're pushed back so far that the 2 can't hit. I didn't even know that was a thing. Although I might have seen it a couple of times. Again, like I said, I don't know everything about this character. You guys might have a combo that I've never seen before. Oh yeah, this one. Very rare. But that doesn't seem to work. I've never tried that, so I'll try it live. It seems that's about all you can really get off of that one. But that's fine. But again, you have to be really fast on the forward circle. You have to be very fast on it. And you might have to sidestep for it. But I usually kind of can get it. But it's just the angle that they're at. The second solution, I should have mentioned there were two. It's forward 2. And I mean, it's pretty lackluster, but okay, now you just don't want to hit him. Now you just don't want to hit him. Now he really doesn't. Different angle. And that is that was the last thing I was gonna mention. About this combo is it's very angle dependent, because as you just saw, we went to Heihachi's left and it changed everything. And now we're like, the thing about doing that one is it's very, what I like to say, it has a lot of variables involved, where a lot of things just, like, I don't really know why that works that time, but it's very situational, that I can tell you, simply because ground technique is at random, which goes to show and prove that this is not a true series of strings that you can put together from up forward 4. As you can tell, like, for some reason now Heihachi's just knocked a little further. And you see what I'm saying? Is like, it's so many variables involved with trying to get up forward 4 from this, that at the end of the day, it's really not worth it. But I will say that if, you know, if you just happen to do the up forward 4, to go for it, you know, you really don't have much to lose. You really don't have much to lose. So yeah. But I would say just go for the left side. It seems to work every time from the left. So yeah, this just has a lot of variables. And yeah, like I said, like forward 4 is the one solution, and then again, I didn't show off the 2-1. And then forward 2 is the second solution to that as well. If you can't stick that in for your wall carry, or stick this in for your wall carry, first solution, try that. Second solution, try that. So there's 2 problem fixers for it. Also, as we just saw, you want to go left if you're gonna go for the up 4 variation of it. You're gonna want to go left. You know, so now on to the next bit, which is combo ending your tail whips. So we will take our counter hit off, and we will start from the beginning. And with the first series of combos that I showed you, yes, they do work for this. That's why I'm not even gonna bother showing that. I don't want to put too much on you guys at one time. I just want to give you little bits at a time. So the combo end, and I'll show you multiple ways to end combos. With the first one, you want to end that one with that series there. And that's beginner if you just want a cool beginner combo ender to go like, hey, I launched you, I teleworked you, I'm gonna keep it going now. There you go. So after you get your tail whip from back 1-2, you just do the down forward 4-2. Yeah, hold 2. You have to hold 2, because if you don't, that happens. But if you do, you get that, and then you do that, and then of course, yes, you can get that as well, you know. And that's just, you know, if you want something cool. And then that one's kind of trickier. Like, this causes this combo to go from beginner to intermediate really fast, because I think you have to use that kick. Yeah, you have to use that kick, I believe, at the end of that. It's very funny though. But yeah, it literally will relaunch. And if they're close enough to a wall, it'll scoot them closer where you can get the 1-2. It's pretty insane. But yeah. Yeah, you really need a wall for the relaunch. And if you're on Geese stage, oh man, yeah, that's 2 tail whips in a row if you're on Geese stage. It's insane. You'll literally get them to the next wall with that, and then you could just literally go back into this and just do that again, and then if they press a button, like, you get the 3rd wall all the way to the balcony on Geese stage. You can really do that. So the next one, this one at this point kind of gets a bit more out there in terms of what you can do, because this is going to be the YouTube one. So you can either end this with back 2-2 or back 2-3. And it really depends on what you want to do, and I'll explain as we go along with this one. So with the back 2-2, if you're on the floor break stage, can't think of the name right now, you will be taken down to the you know, the other level of the stage, because you just broke the floor. This will also sometimes, it has a possibility, of breaking walls. A slight possibility of breaking walls. But if you're on the floor break stage, you want to do that because it will open up more combos that you can get on the floor break stage. Like, for instance, I'll explain that if you guys want another video, because I don't want to make this super long. But other than that, the back 2-3 version of it is for wall carry. You don't have a severe wall pushback, so the most you can get from this is that, and that, and that, if they decide to move forward instantly. But if they're backing up, chase them down with that, or chase them down with that. And if they sidestep, commit to a sidestep attack. You want to counter step with them, you know, like if they're one of those people that are like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. It's like, as long as they're doing that, if you move forward and sidestep and attack, they can't block while they're sidestepping. So keep that in mind, that you can just literally run up while they're doing that and make them think like, oh yeah, I'm a noob. And then just get them with that. Because they're gonna be like, oh, let me sidestep, let me sidestep. But the thing is, this attack goes from both sides. Like, so... good luck trying to sidestep that. And now, with this one, pretty much the same thing. But I'm gonna end it differently, and you can do the same ending for these. You can do the same ending for all these combos, but I'm just switching it up, you know, for you guys to get a variety of it. And so that is one that I usually do, because that's pretty okay. It's not the basic, you know, combo ender, but you can also, if you're fast enough with it, get that, and that's major wall pushback. Major, because once they hit the wall off of that, that's guaranteed. That is guaranteed. Yeah, like, they don't even get a free stand guard on infinite stages with that one either. That's how you know it works on the wall. Yeah, it's severe pushback. And that's kind of why you want to do that one. So now, we're gonna get into just a few of the hard combos, and I'll try to explain as I go. So usually what you might see someone do is do the badass, which is the down back 2. And then you might see, like, you know, everyone now is afraid of this move. So you might see someone duck it to try and block it. So you get a badass, now your opponent's ducking. Uh-oh, now they launch. Now this is where this just gets hard. There kind of is a beginner combo and an intermediate combo, but there is no real way to capitalize and get major damage from this by doing those. So I'm going to show you what you can do to get just a stupid amount of damage from it. You get your badass, lift them up, and you can do that. That's 67. So we're not there yet. We are truly not there yet. Let's try and get more. That's 71. We're starting to get somewhere. We're starting to get somewhere now. But we did have counter hit on to help us.
Not cool. Not cool.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Not cool. Not cool. Not cool.
Trying to remember this combo. Haven't done it in a while.
Not cool.
Bear with me. Bear with me. You don't really get much off of that one, so I'm not even going to try it. But I do know you can switch it up if you're having a hard time catching the up fort 4, kind of like I am now. So that's what we're going to do. That's 69, not there yet.
Not cool. Not cool. Not cool. Not cool.
Almost there.
Not cool. Not cool.
There we go. So, almost there. But you see what I'm saying? These are all hard to do. There are multiple ones you can get and try, but you want the damage to leave the 60s. You want the damage to leave the 60% range. Because if you don't, it's really not worth doing. It's really just not worth doing.
Not cool. Not cool.
Like, you do get a lot out of it, but if you don't leave the 60% range, it really isn't worth it. And so, what I'm going to leave you guys with as well, it's just, you know, you can end it in rage if you want.
Not cool. It's over. Not cool. It's over.
Let's think about this.
Not cool. It's over. Lights out.
So that for 95 you can get.
It's over. It's over.
For 67 you can get that.
It's over.
For 51 you can get that.
It's over.
For 66 you can get that.
It's over. It's over.
For 68 you can get that.
It's over.
Eh.
It's over. 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 It's over.
I really don't remember the delay hop kick combos, but hopefully you guys pretty much got the point by now that Negan has a lot of great options if you're willing to try them out. So hopefully I helped you guys learn something today, and we'll be doing a couple more combo videos from beginner to intermediate to hard. Peace out.